Hi, everybody. It is, what is today? October 29th, Wednesday. Okay, so I want to talk about this is Mark Allison 88's channel. So Trump posted this. It's a video. He didn't play it. I'm not on X, Twitter, but I guess this is what he brought out. Trump posted this. See, what's the date here? October 2nd. And where was the date? I know I seen it on here somewhere. October 7th, or 2nd. Yeah, right there. You can barely see it. My screen. See what he's moving his camera around, so I had to try to catch it to where this coming clear. Okay, so we know Trump put out that video prior to this about the Reaper, where it shows him in this type of costume, Reaper costume, holding the Reaper staff. And then in the lyrics, it mentions somebody else is actually the Reaper. And then it shows, pictures of the parties, people of the Democrat Party. Okay, and then you got this video that he put up. Now, this is what's interesting about Mark Allison's video, is that the honeybee, you see the honeybee here? The honeybee is actually that big hurricane coming in, and Melissa comes from the Greek word Melissa, which means bee, and by the extension, honeybee. Now, the name associated with the nymph in the Greek mythology who nurtured Zeus with honey and was later transformed into a bee. And Millie means honey. So notice that we're talking about Greek here. And I think it was back in 2018 or maybe it was 2020, when Trump had tweets out about talking about something about Poseidon or something like that. Poseidon, I think, is the Greek god of the water. But I can't go back I don't have Twitter. So anyway, go back to here. So we can see it's Halloween. We can see Melissa coming in on a honeybee. And then what got me is this girl right here. See, I can't, he doesn't,
a honeybee.
Right there. Okay. I can't read the top of that hat because it's kind of like cut off. But I think I can't guess. But it's the Trump hat, the red hat that everybody's wearing. And she's looking down. And of course, they got these, black robes on, like the Reaper robes. But she's looking down. And it's kind of interesting because if you remember in iPet Goat 2, so let's go to iPet Goat 2 real quick. Sorry, I didn't have that up. But I didn't want to do many tabs. So iPet Goat, the classroom. Let's see here. Where's the classroom scene? Right here. You see this person, how this person's looking down, and you see the wave coming in. Also, Mark was showing right here. The name of it's called Devil's Triangle official trailer. Okay. And then it goes and shows.
They have a Poseidon torpedo.
A Poseidon torpedo. Isn't that interesting? So, Oh, that might be what Trump was referring to, calling out to Poseidon. Isn't that interesting? So we got the honeybee, known as a nymph, a female nymph that nourished Zeus. Um, and interesting is this symbol right here. It looks like an X, and there's an O. The X and P represents experience points, but I think it represents something else on this situation. So let's go and look at the Greek alphabet. Now let's pull this up. Oh, dang it. How come we can't pull up? How come it keeps taking? Oh, maybe because I'm in the wrong area. Okay, so let's do. Where is the. Let's pull this one up. Okay. So you can see going across here the different letters and symbols of the alphabet. Chi is actually key. So it's like two keys. And also notice the X. Notice where one of the lines of the X is thicker. So if you look on Twitter, I think people are also talking about the symbol of the X, where this part of the X, you see how it has like a doorway, and then you've got this X. So it's like, actually this X would be over this X, so you can see the doorway. But it kind of shows a symbol of the doorway, just like this. So it's kind of interesting. That's theta. So you got alpha, beta, gamma. So the third letter is gamma in Greek, and the third letter in Hebrew is gimel. You notice how it looks like a hangman? Oh, that's interesting. Because on the chalkboard, you can see the hangman right there. And then delta means doorway. Isn't that interesting? Because remember on Pink Floyd, where you have this bright white, and then it goes through the triangle, and on the other side it goes a rainbow color. So I wonder if the bright light is actually the living environment that we're in, because our sun gives off a bright light. And when you go through there, go through the doorway, I wonder if it's back into the rainbow light. Because remember, I was telling you when I opened up the door and I seen God, and it's like this bright white light. But you can see with, like, when you look at the sun, you'll see like these rays that come down, and at the tip of the rays, there's like all these, it looks like fiber optic cable, but at the tips of them is like all these little rainbow colors. It's kind of interesting. Or a fiber optic cable, how they have, or you see those lamps that come out like that, they're fiber optic cables. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of like, even when I was trying to show, I don't know if I showed it on a short clip or not, but I have pulled out one of my hair strands, and when I pulled out the hair strand, you can see at least 4 or 5 strands in it that that look like a rainbow. So it's interesting how, that's why I realized that our hair is like fiber optic cable, or fiber optics. That's why it's written in scripture, and that's why most of them had their long, long hair. And then if we look at our world today, everybody frowns on men having long hair, calling them sissy boys or whatever. But our hair is actually a connection. It's like electricity because we're running on electricity. It's fiber optic. I don't know how else to say that. But in this world, they have us shaving they have, weightlifters and stuff like that, shaving all their hair off their body, being clean shaving everywhere. And a lot of people are going, want to be bald and stuff. But it's kind of interesting when I look back at those people today after knowing what I know and seeing how they act, how disconnected, I should say, they are from, reality. And then, of course, you got those that paint their hair or dye their hair green, blue, and purple and stuff. And they all act a certain way as well. And I think, just from my perspective, and the dye going right into on your head, because our skin absorbs chemicals and stuff, there could be damage there as well. But of course, that'd be kind of hard to tell people unless they actually realize it. So I want to jump over here real quick on my images because I took some pictures yesterday. And this one, I don't know if I can really... Oh, is it going to work for me? Now, I've noticed one thing. Oh, I should try to find before, because this is after. And it has to do with me eating cocoa. I think I've told you guys about it. I'm just so amazed about it. Of this cocoa, 86 plus, 86, 87, 88. The higher the content, the better. But it does something to your skin cells big time. Because I noticed one of my eyes, this is my lazy eye right here. And it's almost matching that eye. Usually it would be going right here, like really lazy. And then this part of my eye skin would like kind of fold over, kind of like that right there. And this is lifting up as well. And I've noticed right here in my eyes. So I just thought I'd throw that out there, that I think the cure to our body and our health, a rejuvenation, has to do with the foods that we eat. And, of course, we hear that all the time growing up, eat this and that. And, most of it, a lot of it, from my perspective, if I would have done it earlier, but I'm just glad to see the results now. But anyway, let's try to look in my eyes and see if we can see anything. Because we've seen a book here a couple of days ago. And my eyes have changed again. I don't know if this is a really good view. There's something or somebody right there. I can't quite bring him out. These aren't very good images of my eyes. There's something grainy about this image. Now this one, I thought was really interesting because of this guy right here. I don't know how I can bring him out. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to come out. My lighting's all jacked up and stuff. So let's go show the other side. I just want to show him. And remember, I trimmed my facial hair really short, but because I wanted to see because it's actually drawn out on my skin and coming out in my hair. Very quite interesting. But the more hair I had, the better the images come out. But I just wanted to see if it's actually drawn out on my skin itself and coming out. Okay, let's go see if there's another one. There's those. Now let's look at these. Oh, look at those eyes. It's so interesting because you can see these two eyes, but it's hard to figure out the face part of it. Now this is interesting. Now this image is flipped, so that's actually showing my right the right way. And here's my left. Yeah. Oh, there he is. I think you can see. His face is right there. Oh, I think there's another face right there. Anyway, those are hard to see. But anyway, getting back to this. So, what are we at here? We're on the 29th, and we got Thursday, Friday. So they're saying something might happen on the 31st. Interesting, right? Obviously, they're showing something going on. And I think the 31st is All Hallows Eve. 31st October. Oh, come on. Oh, that's interesting. It's kind of like saying Three Eye Atlas. Because remember, the letter I represents 1 in Roman numerals. October. All Hallows Eve. All Saints Day is celebrated. All Hallows Eve or All Saints Eve is celebrated on October 31st. And then I think November 1st. Is it November 1st? There's something that has to do. But anyway, I'll cut this short. But I just wanted to look at that part of it. And I think, anyway, I think something might be happening on that day. Okay, guys, have a great day. Tell me what you think. What do you think is written on that hat? Oh, great again. I think that's what it says. Great again. Make America. It is. I wonder if it has to do with their patriots. But anyway, that's interesting how Melissa means honeybee.